Welcome back to the channel. My name is Todd Jewell, and in today's video, we're going to cover how you choose the best neighborhood for you and your family. Let's get to it. What I want to start with is identifying your priorities. It's something that I try to do and our team tries to do from our very initial Zoom meeting on is to help you determine what truly are your priorities. I talk to many of you who tell me that the school is the most important thing for us. Where our children are going to go to school, that's number one. And if it is, then right off the bat, we will narrow down certain parts of Knoxville that have the absolute best schools for you, especially if they're public schools that you're looking to get to, and how close you want to be for that. Maybe you're someone who the kids are grown, and your priority really is being able to be close to the things that you enjoy. Do you like to do what we do? We love outdoor activities. We literally live where we do because we want to be close to the river, close to the lake. We want to be close to these beautiful parks like here at Lakeshore where I am today, Concord Park. They're just some of our very favorites. We love to go to those. We love to get out and walk. We love to do those things. The second thing you've got to consider in relation to those priorities is your budget, because budget obviously is at the very top of the list of what's really, really important when you're looking to move to an area. So if your priorities are being on the water, directly on the water, I want a waterfront home, and you want to do that in town, fairly close to amenities or whatever, then honestly, unless you have a budget of a couple $1 million, probably at least $1 million up, your budget is going to keep you from being able to accomplish that if that's your top priority. And for many of you, you establish a budget, but at the same time, sometimes you're establishing a budget based on going on to Zillow or Realtor.com and looking at homes. And without really understanding Knoxville, it's going to be very, very difficult to establish a budget based on what you see online at homes. And you say, okay, we can get what we want for $500,000. But the reality of that is you may be looking at a part of Knoxville that is really not aligned at all with your priorities. So budget's very, very important. So it's one of the things that we ask you in our very first Zoom meeting, putting that puzzle together. We do lots of videos on how to look around Knoxville, to choose Knoxville, what things cost in Knoxville. I hope you'll check those out. And I think it's one of the reasons y'all subscribe to the channel, so you know when we're releasing these videos all the time. So the third thing I would say is the amenities and lifestyle. And this is an area that until we have in-depth discussions, and honestly, until you visit and we show you around Knoxville, you're not going to be able to determine that. If you're coming from a part of the country that has wide roads, if you drive 15 minutes outside of some of our shopping areas, you're on very small 2-lane, kind of windy roads. And I've learned over time that those are very intimidating to many people. They say, I just don't want to travel that every day. They're nervous on them, and I get it. But when it comes to lifestyle and amenities, what do you want to be close to? Some people, the first question out of their mouth, where's Costco? How close to shopping? How close to dining? Do you need to be really close to medical? Or is 20 minutes good enough to a hospital, or 30 minutes? Or what do you need? You know that you're finally reaching retirement where you can do whatever you want to do, and you really want to get healthy. You want to spend some time outside. You want to enjoy these parks, the rivers. You want to go out and hike. Well, that's very important to know, because if that's the case, then, there are a lot of areas that we're going to want to be able to look at for you. And there's some areas that we're not. Maybe you want to be real social. Maybe you're really involved with your church, so you want to be close to your church. There's so many things in the lifestyle and the amenities of the place. We enjoy being able to jump in the car and literally run to Lowe's in 6 or 7 minutes, go eat in 10 to 15 at a variety of different restaurants. If we need to go pick something up over in Turkey Creek, it's 15 minutes away. So for us, it's convenience, close to the water, certain budget, convenience to those amenities, and for us as well as downtown. And that's how we picked our location, and that's how we're going to help you pick yours. So a fourth thing I always think you should look at, and some of you this is very important, some of you it's not. But if you're someone who wants to be in an area that's in a growth stage, something that probably is going to bring you a little better return than other areas over the next 5 years in appreciation rates. There are certain parts of Knoxville that are more mature and have kind of built out, and they're steady and they're solid, and they're going to appreciate basically about every year, but they're going to do it at a nice steady rate. There are some areas that are really growing. If you go out in the Hardin Valley area, it's really growing. If you go out in North Knox, really growing. You see a lot of new construction, new subdivisions, all those things. Some of those areas still have a ways to grow. And a lot of you ask me about, say, South Knox. right? So we're outdoors people. It's close to downtown. We want to be in a nice established community. And what you find when you get over there, it's really hard to find a subdivision that fits because there's not as many housing choices and not as much new construction, or honestly, you're kind of limited in certain housing options in that area based on what you're looking for in a house in a subdivision. And being in those areas, is that a big enough priority to you to overcome some of the other things you're going to lose based on those lifestyles and priorities? I'll be honest with you, most of the time, when we find out what your priorities are, we're going to be able to narrow you down usually to a maximum of 2 to 3 neighborhoods. And we usually can drive through those in a half a day, and you will come out of that half a day saying, this is the neighborhood we want to be in. Lastly, one of the things that you need to do is you need to reach out to a local expert. You have to be very careful about getting online and getting too many opinions in the different Facebook groups and everything else about an area. Because here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're talking to someone who's lived in Farragut for 25 years, they're going to tell you that the traffic in Farragut is absolutely horrible. When I have you all here with me and we drive through, and that's always a concern because you've seen that online, and we drive through there, you say, this is what they're talking about. So it's just about perspective. You need a local expert. And here's what you need in a local expert. I'm going to say you need us, and you need us because of our unique experience in working with people who relocate. But at the same time, you definitely need an experienced person who understands Knoxville, understands the stresses and complications of relocation. You need a real estate professional who will tell you this is not an area for you, and here's why I think that, and give you the ability to make that decision so you go in with your eyes wide open. Well, I hope you found this video informative. I hope you find it helpful. And until next time, guys, I can't wait to see you around Knoxville really soon.